Imagine you're standing in a frozen valley, and in front of you is an animal 14 feet tall. It weighs as much as a school bus. It has tusks longer than a car, curved like scythes. You have a wooden spear with a sharpened stone tip, and you are about to try to kill it. Not with a rifle, not with a truck, not from a helicopter with a tranquilizer dart. With a sharp stick and about 30 other hungry people. This was not a myth. This was Tuesday. For over 100,000 years, humans hunted the woolly mammoth, one of the deadliest hunts in history. And somehow, they won often enough to survive. Here's how they actually did it. First, understand the stakes. A single mammoth could feed an entire group for weeks. Meat, yes, but also fat for calories in brutal winters, bone for tools, hide for shelter, tusks for building material. One kill could mean the difference between a tribe surviving the winter or starving. So the incentive was enormous, but so was the risk. A mammoth could crush a grown man with one step. It could gore with tusks, trample with legs like tree trunks, and it was smart enough to defend its herd. You could not just walk up and stab it. You needed a plan. Here's the thing. Humans didn't hunt mammoths with strength. They hunted them with geography. At a site called Schöningen in Germany, archaeologists found wooden spears dated to 300,000 years ago. Not sharpened sticks, engineered weapons, balanced like modern javelins. That means early humans were already thinking like engineers, not just brawlers. But spears alone don't take down a mammoth, so hunters used the landscape as a weapon. At sites across Eastern Europe and Siberia, researchers have found mammoth bones stacked near natural ravines and river bluffs. The theory? Hunters drove mammoths toward these edges. A mammoth running in panic doesn't watch its footing. One wrong step off a ledge and 100 human problems were solved by gravity. Here's what's interesting. Some groups didn't wait for a cliff. They built their own trap. At a site in Mexico called Tultepec, archaeologists found a pit dug on purpose, lined with mammoth remains. Over a dozen mammoths trapped in the same spot over time. That means this wasn't luck. This was a hunting station used again and again. Imagine the plan required to pull that off. Someone had to dig it. Someone had to disguise it. Someone had to herd a 14-foot animal exactly where they wanted it to go. This wasn't a fight. This was an ambush, planned like a heist. Here's the part nobody talks about. Most of the danger wasn't the killing. It was the herding. Mammoths lived in herds, led by an experienced matriarch, much like elephants today. She knew the terrain. She knew the danger. She would try to protect her group. So hunters had to isolate a target, usually the young, the old, or the sick, and cut it off from the herd without provoking a stampede toward them. This took coordination. Shouting from one side, fire from another. Spears only as a last resort, to finish, not to start. One mistake, one hunter too eager, and 30 people could be trampled in seconds. Here's the payoff, though. Once a mammoth went down, the work was far from over. Butchering a mammoth could take days, not hours. At a site in Poland called Kraków-Spadzista, archaeologists found dozens of mammoth bones, arranged in patterns that suggest deliberate construction. Some researchers believe early humans built dwellings out of mammoth bone, using tusks as support beams and skulls as foundation stones. Think about that for a second. The same animal that could kill you became the architecture of your home. Here's the broader thesis, the one that ties this whole hunt together. Mammoth hunting wasn't about individual bravery.
It was about a group thinking, working, and trusting each other for days at a time against an opponent that outweighed them 100-1. Every spear at Schoningen, every ravine trap in Siberia, every pit at Tultepec tells the same story. Humans didn't outmuscle the Ice Age. We outplanned it.
So next time you picture a caveman with a spear, picture this instead. A coordinated team using fire, geography, patience, and teamwork to bring down the largest land animal most of them would ever see. That's not luck. That's the first version of strategy, and it fed the world.